Hi, this is your boy DJ, and I'm back with DJ's podcast. And today we are going to talk about my love for South Park. South Park is one of my favorite shows growing up. Like, I remember that time when I was like 8 years old, and I was like in elementary school in third grade, and I heard about this game called South Park: The Stick of Truth. I researched it online. I watched like multiple PewDiePie videos about it. Shout out to PewDiePie for that. And I liked how like PewDiePie created his own character for South Park, and then that same year the game was released, and in the new season, he made a guest appearance in South Park, and it was very hilarious. Like I like how he said, "Hi guys, how's it going, bro? This is PewDiePie. Let's play some Call of Duty." And I like how Cartman he tried to do the same thing as PewDiePie, like "Got me, bro." And it was kind of hilarious. But anyway, like like I was saying, um, I started watching. I like when I was like 9 years old. I started watching South Park for real, and my mom she didn't approve it because the kids like cursing a lot, and my dad told me that just because it's a cartoon doesn't mean it's not for kids, and it's true because there are lots of shows right there out there that like animated like Simpsons and Family Guy, but it's true that some of them contain like like lots of bad things like for adults, and I get it because um not everything cartoony is going to be like for kids. Because there are some things out there like for example like that movie Hush Party. You do not want to let your kids see that. It is not for kids. But eh, but but like I was saying, but I love South Park because like growing up, it made me laugh, it made me smile, and I get that it's kind of disturbing and messed up in a kind of way, but I like how unique it is compared to other cartoons. Like it's an adult show that feature four goats who are like 8 to 10 years old, like Stan Mars, Kyle Pawlowski, Eric Cartman, and my favorite, Kenny McCormick. Like I like how they're Avengers, all the fun they have. Yeah, but sometimes like the way they go to like in like a kind of funny, but yet somewhat mocking adventures. Like seeing that season one episode of them facing a Mecha Barbara Streisand. And I like how the fact that they'll make a priority of anyone in real life. Like for example, Lord, Kanye West, and us. And last night they did something about the Supreme Court about his new latest episode. But if anyone's doing South Park, I'm not going to spoil for you because I don't like spoilers. And trust me, I do not like spoiling things for people too. But I like South Park a lot, but in middle school, like I became attached to South Park a lot, like very attached to it. Like I would get up like at 1 a.m. in the morning watching this new episode of South Park season 20. And I didn't like the season at all because, it featured stuff I didn't like, but it featured stuff I didn't like. But but it did redeem itself back in 2021 in seventh grade, where like when season 21 came out, everything became better for everyone in society as well. But so like I like yeah, but uh, my friends on the other hand, none of them don't like South Park a lot because my good friend Daniel Beatty, he is not a fan of South Park. He hates it a lot because he kept saying it's disgusting. The characters get put through unbearable pain, and it's very offensive. And how they make a mockery out of everything in real life. It's kind of true, but I like it funny. I get it that Daniel is not like a fan of stuff with dark things, but it's not just Daniel. My friend Chick Martin, Fernando Gonzalez, and also Dan Johnson. Like they are not fans of South Park. They mostly watch stuff that I don't like stuff that's like live action. I get it because like I grew up with most things that are animated, like Invincible. I love that show a lot. That's one of my top three favorite shows to watch. Like Invincible, Rick and Morty, Family Guy, The Simpsons, Big Mouth, and I've got this one. It's called. Hold on. Oh yeah, American Dad. I don't watch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it took so long, but I have not watched American Dad for a while. But the only reason why I liked it because they made a crossovers and a guest episode featuring my favorite artist, The Weeknd, and I had not watched American Dad since then. But but South Park has been a part of my life because like I grew up with their adventures, like the way they like their iconic catchphrases and all those good episodes back from 1990s. But if but I like how but you know what I like about the family's kind of toxic, and I don't like how people would ship a character with another character because I get the fact that they try to pair up characters from the show with other characters they would bond with and probably a romantic relationship with. But I'm sorry to say this, but I'm not much of a fan of shipping. But I like how South Park, like, despite the fact that it's been described as a valid show, shout out to Daniel B for that. Um, it still has some it still has some heartwarming warming moments. I like in that season 25 premiere, Pajama Day, how the kids like they finally got their pajama day back, and I like how they dance, have fun in pajama day at school, and I like there are lots of things. There are lots of things in South Park that have heartwarming moments and episodes. Like at the end of season 20, despite the fact I didn't like it, it still was a good ending because it finally gained it's finally prevented some kind of thing that would happen cause a huge catastrophe in Starbucks world in society as a whole, but it was stopped. Thank God it was stopped. But but in seventh grade, when it was like my 12th birthday, I got attached to this game. It was called South Park. It was the one it was a superhero one. I beat it in like 3 days. Like I got attached to it. Like I bought a DLC. I like how you get to create yourself as a separate character and you get to design you as a superhero. Like every you get to be like the Hulk, Batman, or Iron Man, or even Captain America. And I like how much I like the humor in that game. Everything about it is very funny. I like the kids' superhero egos. And my favorite character, Michael Butters, like Michael Butters, aka Professor Chaos. My goat. I love that guy so much. Like I like the fact that in March 2018, when they released a DLC called Casa Bonita, it's basically a place where you it's basically it's basically Disneyland, but it's similar to but hold on, let me talk again. Um, so about Casablanca, it's basically Disneyland, but it's Mexican Disneyland. No offense. Like they had like other things, puppet shows, a waterfall, food, and even Mexican, and also ways to show Mexican culture. And you know how else back in 1999, there South Park 2 years after its premiere, they already created a R&M movie for it. It's called South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. And that movie was kind of funny. I know that it had a ton of swearing on it, but it was still funny, and it made me more funnier. It was still like a musical, like similar to a Disney movie. And you know what? And fun fact: Judge, the creator of King the Hill and Beavis and Butthead, he 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 actually voiced Kenny Unhooded in the movie. In the movie, Mike Judge, he voiced Kenny, and I was I was shocked to hear Kenny on talk for the first time about his hood. And I was surprised that Kenny had hair. And I in that and yeah, fun fact that one time I saw Kyle he took his hat off and he had this big red afro. I crashed out and yo, bro, what is that? And and my friend Daniel, he said it was cursed as well. And I get how South Park's I get how people say that no one will watch South Park. I get it because it's offensive, disturbing, and how the characters put each other through unbearable pain. But but I know that I know that there are times that Eric Cartman can be a bit, of a sociopath for a 10-year-old boy. He still has a heart. As I saw him change 20th throughout the 20th season of South Park. And he managed to get a girlfriend. He managed to like fix his friendship with Kyle. And it has proves that anyone can change. No matter anyone can change. But still, Eric Cartman, he did a lot of messed up things in the past. Like I can't explain to you because this is a school show, but Cartman's done some bad things for a 10-year-old boy. And I can see why people don't like Cartman a lot. And there are times that I don't like Cartman as well because sometimes he can be a bit racist and a bit anti-Semitic. And he has to take things to a whole new level. Like that's just too much social pressure for me. And I'm a bit crazy myself, bro. I'm a bit, yeah. And actually, fun fact, back in 2021, Paramount Plus, they made a deal with South Park about like doing for more seasons, and that'll be good because I get to live with South Park more longer. And I like to give a huge shout out for Trey Parker for giving me a good childhood. Even though he was a part of my childhood, like he created like one of my favorite shows growing up, South Park. And like, and fun fact, Trey Parker, the creator of South Park, he actually played the villain in Despicable Me 3. And I can tell because his voice sounds similar to Randy Marsh. And remember that towel guy? Like, Towie, don't forget to bring a towel. Yeah, I love that guy so much. Like, I love Towie, and it just, he knows like some things that aren't good for his health. He's a towel, he had no organs and stuff, but he's still a good funny guy, and he's still a great guy as well because he has a girlfriend. He also has a son. Like this took place back in season 14, which aired in 2010 at the time. So it's like 15 years from now, and I get the fact that sometimes like South Park, they would like make fun of politics. But I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to get facts. But I like how Trey Parker is trying like I like how Trey Parker and Matt Stone are literally trying to rage bait people like it's celebrities because they know because they have a good reputation about being like offensive and have like a messed up mindset where they're like they made a show where if your kids swearing, it has like lots of things are a bit inappropriate for kids, and they also invented like some kind of Broadway show called The Book of Mormon. I'm not a fan of Broadway, sorry, but still, I like the fact how creative Trey Parker and Masso are because I heard that they're currently working on a project with Kendrick Lamar, and it's set to be released soon. But I don't know the exact date for it. But still, I can't wait to see it. I hope it's like a show or a movie. But that guy, Mr. Mackey? Like drugs are bad. Drugs are bad, but gay. I love that guy so much. Like he's one of my top five characters in the show. Like I like how Mr. Mackey is a very chill guy. He's a counselor. I like how he helps kids with their problems. Like when a fight happens, they go back. They go to Mackey. When there's something wrong in their life or going through stuff, they talk to Mackey. And Mackey, he is a god tier counselor, and and he's funny as well. Like I like his big balloon head and his catchphrase like McKay, McKay, McKay. Like it was like absolute cinema. Like everything in South Park is kind of funny, but there are sometimes that there are some episodes I don't like about South Park because they went too far. Like in that season episode called Stanley's Cup. I mean, that season 10 episode called Stanley's Cup. I did not like that episode at all. It was just too messed up, disturbing, and I didn't like it. And that was my first time I actually hated South Park for what they did because they went too far. And even though I'm a huge South Park fan, I still have my limits. I still have my limits for it. And I like how South Park is like very unique compared to other characters. Compared to other shows, like, because Family Guy is different because it actually features like a whole family dynamic thing, like when Peter, like all he does is abuse Meg, and I feel sorry for Meg for the fact that she has to get put through abuse because she's quote unquote ugly. I think Meg's to me Meg's actually pretty fine, and she's actually pretty nice. And I don't get why people have to abuse Meg all the time, just by my own family, even at school, even my strangers who don't even know her. Like that's messed up. But South Park, but Butters, he gets put through a lot too. Like the four boys, but mostly Cartman, they mostly take advantage of him, and they get involved in like something stupid. Like every time they try something stupid, they always get much involved, and he ends up getting hurt or worse, grounded by his parents, even though he did not want to get involved. I like the guy, but sometimes I hope one day that he can be able to stand for himself, both the Cartman, the boys, and his dad, because because I don't want that. I want him to be like mentally scarred for life. And I know that he gets put through pain a lot, but I still I still feel very bad for Butters. I get that he is a bit naive and a bit gullible, but sometimes by his experience with something like his experience with certain things like that in their seasons, they it that's he did toughen up a little bit because he finally said he made some kind of movement in 20 and against girls because there was this internet troll thing that happened between boys and girls and got mad at each other in boys protests. But despite the fact that he despite the fact that he showed his great skill in leadership, the movement it actually made the fighting between the boys and the girls a bit worse. But still, I like how Boris is able to be like toughen up a little bit, like show that he's not a weak kid anymore. He became more tougher, like than the average kid at South Park, and I like the fact that how Boris would even get get some friends as girls like like in the last episode in South Park, which aired like 2 or 3 weeks ago, he managed to get a present for his friend, who's a girl. Her name is Red, and 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 she actually thanked him. She hugged him and said, "I love you, Butters," and that in front of the whole girls, and the girls liked it as well a lot. And that just shows that Butters can be appreciated for lots of things. Kyle treats him, Kyle treats him better. So does Stan, and also Kenny, almost like everyone he encounters with, they treat him better. But Cartman, he still treats them the same. All he does is get him involved in all he does is get him involved in some stupid plan. And I'm gonna lie to you, Cartman needs to stop doing that stuff to him. I'm telling you, because no one, because I learned from my mistake, because from my experience, Cartman needs to understand that his sociopathic behavior is going to cost him his friends everything because no one wants to be around a sociopath. And I know and I've seen it in several episodes where like the boys like they would not talk to her, they would not associate Carmen at the time because of his behavior. And that one time, like they ignore him because of the fact that that he ate all the skin of KFC chicken and it made Kenny cry. And he was like this. Sorry. Like I was saying, like I get there and like mad that Carmen ate the chicken skins, and I can see why because I get it because fried chicken. To be honest, fried chicken is like the best part fried chicken, like the skin, is the best part of eating fried chicken. Like in my opinion, if you like add like some kind of sauce you like barbecue sauce or buffalo sauce, and eat the skin and chicken, it's fire, like very fire. But anyways, like I like South Park has been like South Park, like it was a good show to watch growing up, even though it was not for kids at all. Like I get it because like it's rated TV and made for its language and violence, but it was still a good. It was still kind of funny. Like all the comedy they put in it. Like I loved how the fact like they put as the creativity. Like they would make mockery of anything, even Christmas. And I love Christmas. I love Christmas. Like I would I would think that South Park will be around by the time I'm like 25 years old because they got renewed by for season 30, and I bet that by the time season 30 is on a run, which is not till like a couple of years from now, I can still see South Park getting like like very long to be like very long running like Simpsons because Simpson like it's crazy that how Simpsons like despite the fact that it first premiered back in the 80s, it's still going and going and going. And that's why I hope for South Park to keep like running as long as I can as long as I live because I would love to I would like to like if Pete my friends like South Park a lot, and I would see them laugh at every joke they make in the show. Like we would like sit back in dorms, watch old episodes of South Park, the oldest to newest ones. Like despite the fact I'm a fan of South Park, like last year, I know that there was this game South Park Snow Day, but I did not like it at all because that I don't think South Park looks good in CGI. I like it better in 2D. And I don't get why would they like do I don't get why they have to like do CGI for South Park. Because in my opinion, CGI South Park does not mix. Do you get me, guys? Do you get me? Yeah, but still, I like the fact that how they still wore, how the characters still wore, their stick of truth costumes. Yeah, and you still get to play as new kid, but instead of 2D, it's CGI. But there are some shows I rather have 2D instead of 3D. You feel me? All right. But I like and they and fun fact that before use computers, South Park, it was created by actual because because I seen it in a behind the scenes YouTube video on it, and it's I think that it was kind of good because before South Park was released, Beavis and Butthead like was very like popular back in the days. Like I like how Butthead and Beavis would do some stupid things and it's like very hilarious. And Concorio, like I am the great Concorio. I love that show so much. And you know that I'm a 2000s baby, but I still find it funny because I right now I'm watching lots of Beavis and Butthead videos on TikTok and the YouTube, and I like the fact that how like it took adult animation to a whole new level of comedy before South Park take that title because Beavis and Butthead I think it aired in early to mid 1990s, and it was and I like how they did crossovers with Nicki Minaj back in, I think it was like 2011 for the MTV Awards. Yeah, because you know how like Comedy Central is owned by Paramount, and Paramount both owns Comedy Central and Nickelodeon, and that's why I wanted to have to make um I want them to make some kind of Space Jam movie, but instead of Warner Brothers, I want it to be Paramount instead. Like I would see any NBA superstar like be sucked into a world full of Nick characters, and there will be like crossovers like everywhere in from Paramount franchises like South Park, Beavis and Butthead, SpongeBob, Loud House, any show that's owned by Viacom and Paramount. But I also but and I like how and a lot of fans and like there's like this website called Demon Art where they like literally show their art, their like creativity. Like they create their own they create their own South Park characters, and I gotta say they do a very good job about playing South about making themselves like about creating their South Park fan art. And you know that I used to draw a lot, and but not anymore, honestly, because like I'm a good fan. I'm a fan of art. I really am a fan of art, but it's been a while since I picked up a pencil and sketch, draw, and color. But I still got on me because there are times that I would draw on my iPad now. Like I'll use like Adobe or IBS, and I would draw myself in South Park, Powerpuff Girls. Like I would even create like a bunch of like wacky, funny crossover pages, color books of like the Powerpuff Girls meeting South Park characters, and I like and and I'm sorry that it's a bit repetitive, but I just love South Park so much. Like it became like the goat of me in cartoon, the goat of cartoons. Like, and I grew up on SpongeBob, but the moment I saw South Park, I got like very attached to that show. Like, you would see, you would see, you would see on campus, you see one of my friends wear South Park t-shirts. Like, I saw one with, and I would saw one with it. All right, bye. Oh, my fault. All right. Like I was saying, and campus, despite the fact that people rarely talk about South Park now, I know a few people who will watch it because I can tell because they even wear a t-shirt for it. Yeah, I saw one kid and he had like a black Eric Carmen t-shirt, and my one of my other friends from high school who goes here, he has a white Carmen t-shirt as well. And fun fact, at home, I actually have a zombie Kenny McCormick book bag I used to wear in junior year of high school. But I still have it, but I don't know where it's at home. But I hope one day I can show it to you guys. And you know what else? Like South Park, despite the fact it's an adult show, they even have like stuff for kids. Like they have toys for it, like Funko Pops, toys, even like t-shirt sizes, like kid t-shirts for it. And I like that it's viewed more than adult sitcom. It's viewed as an entire show that can gather anyone's attention, and it can and I know that. And then this one time, and I was like 11 years old, there was always this commercial, and there was always this commercial where like every time you watch South Park for an episode, they would always hmm, how can I describe it? Like there was like this little girl growing up, and like me, she grew up on South Park. Like she would like draw characters. She would like draw the joke scene, the funny scenes, and and she said that's how South Park inspired her life. And I can and I actually agree with her on that because South Park they teach me a lot of good things. And even though there are times that they show lessons in a very vile way, it's still a very good show, and I would like to thank you guys for listening to my podcast about my love for South Park. Because if you guys like dark stuff, I would highly recommend South Park. But if you're not interested in South Park, I would recommend trying Rick and Morty out. All right, that's a wrap. Bye. Just playing with you. I'm just playing with you. But Rick, I like South Park. Yeah, like Rick and Morty is very good. It's very good show, and like it's a little messed up in kind of way. Like it's kind of dark, but I like the how it's funny is I like my favorite episode from the show is Pickle Rick because Pickle Rick like that is my favorite episode from the show. I watched it like over like 8 times during when I was like 12 to 13 years old, and I would like draw Pickle Rick as a school as a and back in the Bronx in middle school. I used to like draw Pickle Rick all the time during my art projects, and they even told me that, bro, you are so obsessed with Rick and Morty. I say I'm not. I'm obsessed with Pickle Rick because he's the GOAT. And I can tell, yeah, I get it. He is the GOAT. And fun fact, Rick and Morty, I like Rick and Morty is popular in everywhere I go. Like in high school, lots of kids they wear like t-shirts, hoodies, and even sneakers from Rick and Morty. And back in senior high school, like me and my friends, we would go to Wendy's every day and get the Rick and Morty and get the Rick and Morty meals. And it was like bussing. Like I like the drinks, and you could like mix them up. Like they did like some kind of crossover with yellow mellow, and you get to mix up the flavors like limeade and strawberry lemonade, and it was a good combo. And and actually, oh goodbye guys. Time, next week. Okay, I'll see you next week.